So we talked a little bit about the history of the play, we talked about the history of Kambule itself. Um, and I know this Carnival History Month, but I also want to invoke sankofa, right? The whole reason we're looking back is to bring it forward to now and in the future. So the question I have for you then is, what are the legacies being left behind, and what are we through the play being able to bring forward into the now and into the future?
So Kambule is at its core about legacy. Yeah, because our mother wanted to write this play to honor the contribution of our ancestors, to bring their book into the now, to make it relevant to the now. To celebrate the fact that they sacrifice, to celebrate the fact that they are the ones through their understanding at a visceral level of the importance of the festival, that there was no way, even if they had to die defending it, there was no way that this festival was going to just be thrown out. In 1880, the colonial administration really terrorized stick fighters and the jammers, and they took away their bois, which is a humiliating act. And in a lot of ways, that galvanized the stick fighters who were warring amongst themselves to come together, led by Joe Tabina. And so inside of there are lessons about how we confront and how we manage negativity and attempts to quash our culture and to pull us away from a sense of who we are. And that is relevant today. That is why we talked about the importance of young people, because that teaching of that history is not done in schools. This is a carnival that we say has birthed over 100 and around the world, that our template is this, and that our, people come to see how we manage pets and all sorts of things. And there's not far or more, not a word is taught about in our schools. I mean, there are a few teachers who would do it, so let me not deny that. But it is not something that is taught. So therefore, for us, legacy is very much this act of this ritual and act. Legacy is having all these young minds who know they're putting things on TikTok or can be, forum that my mother's generation would not know or care about. But it means that their generation and younger generations are going to see, they're going to ask questions. What is this thing? What's a bomb? What's a jammer? What's a stick man? What is the connection between stick fighting and carnival? Etc. etc. So yeah, legacy in a very, very core sense. Okay.
So for me, legacy is a little more, I'm to look at it in a more granular way. For me, legacy is about my master's thesis, which is on moving numbers, right? Which really studies what we have been building for the past 20 years and how that information can be represented and replicated and scaled in other spaces. Because, Kambule as one thing is valuable. Kambule as a framework for other communities to reconnect with their history, with their practices, with their rituals, with their spirituality. It's a completely different thing, right? So it is about really reconnecting to all the different elements that are represented in Kambule. So, right, calendar is one thing that is in Kambule, but calendar is also one of the least of the impossible carnival right now. So one of the things that we have been really obsessing with is reconnecting to Canada community, right? Going in the bush with King Rattle and learning how to pick our own bois and shave it down and train in the river. And you're freezing up to your waist, swinging up bois in a river. All of that is part of the archiving and the building of another set of legacy, right? Understanding that Tafara Gael was one of the first in 1830 to actually set up a Gael, right? During the emancipation time. So understanding that us connecting with Rato, who is a third generation stick fighter, is us making sure that he also can preserve his legacy, but his sons who are now learning to drum, learning to play stick, etc., etc. So we are actually creating or helping to create or fostering these like little universes popping up all over the place. And for me, it is really play is one thing that, but it's all the other things that come out of the play that are really exciting for me. So it's like Sharon coming on, he's discovering, wait, now I can actually be a musician. Well, I can actually learn to make drums and sell drums. I can actually become a stickman. I can actually, and there is value in these things. It is also really the legacy of Kambule is creating possibility for young African people to see themselves as beautiful, valuable, right? And so often we encounter young people who are running afoul of the law or just about to. We encounter young people who are brilliant drummers or singers or whatever, and they live in a family where they don't want them to be in that level thing. And when they reach by us, they have so much energy and so much love to give. So the real legacy is all the journey. We give love to. I mean, it's always very jokey to see at the end of the process all these children like hugging up Mr. N2 or hugging up the rest of us. And it's like, what are we gonna do until Kambule rehearsals come out next year? Because this kind of sadness about where this community will disappear. Kambule's legacy is a creative community that has the potential to live throughout the year if we were to get the financial resources, which is why going back again to the openomics, creating that possibility for sustainability so that we can keep doing good right throughout the year. So, but legacy is.
Thank you so much for sharing with us about Kambule, the riot Kambule, the play, the legacy, what Carnival is. And I think this is a very fruitful discussion to have for Carnival History Month. And let me just say, because it's Carnival History Month, there's that question, because that question was actually asked, what stick fighting have to do with Carnival? So.
Really?
Yes, 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 it's actually asked.
My gosh.
So, in no particular order, right? I will do, because I'm partly a Calypso hipster and I'm coming to terms with that. Let's do Calypso, right? There would be no Calypso without stick fighting. Sure. Right? But if you all want to ask.
I mean, every civilization has its warriors. And in our confrontation for our civilization, our fighters who are on the front line are fighting for us to make sure that this manifestation of our civilization, when I say this manifestation, Carnival and the and beyond Carnival, festivals that have emerged as central and important for us. And so we must give respect, we must give honor, we must give space, we must give recognition to our stakeholders. We must. And if we don't, we will lose everything that we have.
So there's one photo that, historical photo that we see of stick fighters during the days of enslavement, where they were able to practice this martial art in a way that did not scare the plantation owners too much. It was done with capoeira and other forms of martial arts that will seem like dance, seem like play, and allow the enslaved to be able to develop ways to protect themselves and to protect their communities and to retain and remember that sense of warriorhood that was attempted to be stripped away from them. But what a lot of people do not know is that the hieroglyphics on the walls of the pyramids in Egypt have their display depict rather stick fighter. Some of them are two sticks, like the Immaculate and in person. And so we have a chant, we have a laugh, and that's part of the legacy. Right? On the ancient wall, I woman. On the ancient wall, I woman. My name is Dave. I woman. My name is Dave. So it's saying that thousands of years ago, these stick fighters, these people who were practicing this form of warrior, but this form of protection, this form of community, engagement. It has come down over the centuries, and we in Trinidad and Tobago are practicing it still. And that art form helped to save this carnival that now we talk about brings in billions of dollars. But what we need to understand is it's rooted in history, it's rooted in ancestors, it's rooted in ritual, and that is what Kambule is about. One of the things that Kambule is about remembering about this. So
thank you so much. Happy Carnival history, everybody. Please drop any questions or comment in the comment section. This is Cordial, where we answer your questions about Trinidad and Tobago culture. Thank you so much for your attention. See you next time.
To be, to learn about the history. This is the place to be, to gain cultural identity. This is the place to be, research building our legacy. Carnival belongs to all our we. This is the place to be. Discover what's possible in UTT's Master of Arts in Carnival Studies.